Right now, 28 airlines can fly you to Europe from the U.S. at the new fall and winter fairs. 8 airlines can fly you to the Far East. 17 airlines can fly you to the Caribbean, and 32 to Latin America, and 7 to Hawaii. But only one airline flies to all these places, Pan Am. We've got the prices everybody's got, but we've got the experience nobody's got.
I was a real dummy. I couldn't add. I couldn't subtract. I couldn't multiply. I couldn't divide. Percentages made my head spin. Then they gave me America's #1 selling personal calculator, the Bomar Brain. Thanks to the Bomar Brain, I'm no dummy anymore. Knock on wood. The Bomar Brain, a perfect gift for the little dummy in all of us.
The King and I, tonight at 8.
Well, I think it's going to be pretty close. However, I saw Bobby beat Margaret, and I think that he's really a tough player. So I'd have to give him the edge over Billie Jean.
I think that if I had to bet money, I would bet on Bobby Riggs. If it's cool and it's going to save him in a 3 out of 5 set match, the only thing in Billie Jean's favor is 3 out of 5 sets. I favor Bobby Riggs.
Well, I think Bobby must start in as the favorite of the match. I think he's got a little bit too much control of the ball and know-how for the girls. Billie Jean will put up a fine match. I think it'll be a good contest, but I pick Bobby to win in 3 sets or 4 sets.
I think Riggs will win. I really think he's got a lot of stuff going for him. He's the con artist. You know, he can hit any kind of shot.
I hope Billie Jean King does. Again, I think it's a lot of hope because Riggs obviously has all the shots, but I am hoping so much that she ends up the winner of that contest.
I think Billie Jean. You do? Yeah. She plays a very aggressive game. She's very fast, and she plays, as some people say, very much like a man.
Bobby Riggs. I know Bobby for many years. I've played with him. I think that no matter what they want to say, the establishment of women tennis wants to say there is no way that a good woman can beat a fairly good man. There are 500 college players in America that can beat Billie Jean King, in my opinion.
I think it's good. I think probably Bobby Riggs will win it, but I think it's going to be a very exciting close match. I'm sure that Billie Jean King is going to put up a much more interesting fight than Margaret Court did. Billie Jean King.
Why?
Well, first of all, I think that Billie Jean King is an excellent player. I think that besides that, she's a beautiful lady, and I like beautiful ladies.
The following is an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports, live from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. The tennis battle of the sexes, Billie Jean King versus Bobby Riggs.
Any ball you can hit, I can hit harder. I can hit any ball harder than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
I can hit such smart lobs, you'll chase them till your heart throbs.
I can hold my service till you're very nervous.
I can serve a cannonball.
But can you hit one back?
Yeah.
I knew you'd say that. Any ball you can get, I can get faster. Backhand or forehand, I'm master of you.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
This telecast is being brought to you by Cadillac, America's #1 luxury car and your authorized Cadillac dealer. By Sunbeam, built with quality, backed by service. By Aetna Life and Casualty, you get action with Aetna. And by Rockwell International. What a scene it is, the Houston Astrodome, where up till now they've played almost every sport in the world except tennis. And tonight it's tennis. Not Wimbledon variety, not Forest Hills variety, but in this panoramic scene, a happening. A wild scene almost reminiscent of college football, with the celebrities present, with the big band here, with dancing cheerleaders and all of the rest. That's the way it is for the Battle of the Sexes, Billie Jean King against Bobby Riggs. And it's hard to believe, but probably more than 30,000 people are in this arena for an all-time record tennis audience anywhere in the world. Hello again, everyone. I'm Howard Cosell. We're delighted to be able to bring you this very, very quaint, unique event. And in the whole build-up, the whole prelude to this event, as each adversary sought to psych out the other, suddenly there was, would you believe, a problem about one of our announcers-to-be, Jack Kramer, the famed tennis promoter, the famed tennis player of the past. Jack was to have been part of our team, but it seems that Billie Jean King didn't want him to be part of our announcing team, and her husband-manager, Larry King, was very outspoken in his expression of Billie's disapproval of Jack. Let's listen to Larry King.
Billie Jean King has the utmost respect for Jack Kramer as a promoter of men's tennis. However, Billie Jean has been opposed in many of the things she has striven for in women's tennis, particularly in the last 4 or 5 years, by Jack Kramer. In the last 12 days, we've seen the culmination of her goals in equal prize money for women at Forest Hills, in Margaret Court winning a tournament against 4 men and 3 women and winning a $40,000 first prize, and in this match today where a man competes against a woman for $100,000. Billie Jean feels there's going to be future competition with Jack on World Team Tennis, the next great breakthrough in tennis. In light of this competition and opposition from Jack Kramer, Billie Jean does not feel that she will be able to perform adequately. She feels her performance would be adversely affected by having Jack Kramer share this forum with her today.
We at ABC really thought the whole thing was a joke initially, part of a psych-out procedure employed by Billie Jean against Bobby, who's famous for his own. But no, she was serious. We wanted Jack Kramer. We respected him. He would have been on our telecast. But Jack's his own man. He had other ideas. Listen.
About 10 days ago, when I was hearing these rumors that I might not be doing the ABC telecast from the Dome on the Billie Jean King Riggs match, I first thought it might be a trick by Howard Cosell to get me off the show. He didn't want my kind of competition, but knowing Howie, I know he can handle any kind of sport. But apparently Billie Jean was very serious, and she feels that I'm completely opposed to what she's trying to do in tennis. And I have to say that Billie Jean's right, because I don't believe that a champion should walk off of a court with a full house as she did in Los Angeles a couple of years ago. I don't think she should have defaulted to Julie Hellman at Forest Hills. I want to make one thing clear. When I realized that I was perhaps a problem for Billie Jean, I thought that she might want to use me as an excuse for losing to Bobby Riggs. To ABC's credit, they said, you call the shots, Jack, we'll go along with you, but I'm withdrawing voluntarily. I'm wishing 100% good luck to my pal Bobby Riggs.
Okay, Jack, we're sorry you're not with us tonight. You know how much we respect you. At the same time, we're fortunate to have a gentleman of co-equal tennis authority serving in Jack's stead. You'll be meeting him in just a few moments. I mentioned earlier, celebrities sitting around the place. Look at Big Jim Brown, number 32, almost outsizing the heavyweight champion of the world, George Foreman, who'll later be presenting the winner's check to the winner. And now, down in Bobby Riggs' dressing room is my colleague, Frank Gifford, ready to talk with the man who has an even bigger mouth than someone else you've read about. Frank Gifford.
Thank you, Howard, and I am with Bobby Riggs. You mentioned George Foreman. It has all the feeling of a championship fight deep here in the bowels of the Astrodome, and Bobby, you really have created a monster.
Well, Frank, I don't know about that. It's a thrill to be one of the participants in the greatest match, perhaps, in tennis history. 46,000 people could get in here. I don't know how many they have. I haven't seen it, but a huge crowd for tennis. And as I say, it's a thrill. I'm ready to play, and I'm going to try to win for all the guys around the world who feel as I do, that the male is king, the male is supreme. I've said it over and over again. I still feel that way. Girls play a nice game of tennis for girls. But when they get out there on a court with a man, even a tired old man of 55, they're going to be in big trouble.
You said something very interesting. It was 34 years that separated what? Your Wimbledon titles, yours and Billie Jean's?
That's right. I won it in 1939, and she won it in 1973, this year.
Bobby, she's calm and cool. I've talked to her. How about yourself?
I feel that I'm so relaxed and not a bit nervous, and feel like I'm going to go out there and play the Bobby Riggs style of game. I know that I'm going to play as well as I can play, and she can beat that. Good luck to her.
Well, Bobby, good luck to you. It's going to be a fascinating thing to watch, a fascinating match. We followed from the very beginning. Bobby Riggs is ready. Billie Jean King is ready. And we'll be back to the Astrodome for the tennis match of the century, as Bobby likes to say. But right now, this message.
America's #1 luxury car is Cadillac. #1 by more than double in sales and popularity. Cadillac offers for 1974 the leadership cars of the land. Cadillac 74 is #1 in choice, with 9 different models, plus luxury versions never before available, like the Fleetwood Talisman. Historically #1 in owner loyalty, Cadillac now offers its owners even greater luxury in interior appointments and a new concept in instrument panel design. And traditionally, #1 in resale value, Cadillac adds even finer engine performance from start to stop. A new high-energy ignition system is available. There's a new level of quiet and rolling smoothness that is Cadillac at its very best. Cadillac 74, more than ever, America's #1 luxury car.
Well, we're back live at the Houston Astrodome, and we're awaiting Billie Jean King's entrance upon the court almost momentarily. Oh, here comes Bobby Riggs. You see him now in the picture. And they talk about money, $100,000, winner take all, but it's more than that, really. Actually, the winner will wind up with $200,000, the loser with $100,000, and the endorsements already accorded to the 2 players will produce far much more money than even that. It's really a $3 million project for the promoter, Jerry Perencio. Down here in the papers, they've been calling it the $3 million hustle. And it could well be that, because Bobby Riggs is now recognized as the biggest hustler perhaps in all of history. Some have said that there's not been anything like this since Minnesota Fats played Zsa Zsa Gabor in billiards, and here comes Billie Jean King. And she's got the fans here tonight. Bobby has talked so much as the #1 male chauvinist in the world that there is unquestionably an overwhelming sentiment for Billie Jean King. Just introduced by the public address announcer, you can hear the roars. Billie Jean King, whom Frank has already described to you as calm and composed. Billie Jean King wearing a new gown, of course, skirt for this occasion, and looking very much like Billie Jean King always looks. A very attractive young lady, and sometimes you get the feeling that if she ever let her hair grow down to her shoulders and took her glasses off, you'd have somebody vying for a Hollywood screen test. There she is. Now, earlier today, just to show you how Billie Jean King has been approaching this match in her own mind as she gleefully, even joyously, waves to the fans, Frank Gifford had the opportunity to speak with her, and here is Billie Jean King talking with Frank.
Well, Billie, I think everyone would like to know, particularly concerning what happened over the past couple of weeks. How are you physically?
I'm 100%, and I wouldn't be playing this match unless I was. Unfortunately, the press exaggerated anything that was really happening to me. I did have some blood tests run just to make sure I was healthy, but what I had was a virus, and I let it run its course, and I'm 100% now.
You know, Billie, going back to when you signed for the match and we had a chance to do an interview in New York, everything was fun and games. It seemed very light. Did you know it was going to grow into this kind of a monster?
I thought it would, to be honest with you. I've always felt that tennis could do a lot in a popularity point of view, and I think this is the type of match that would make it happen, and it has.
You're not psyched out like you said he would psych you out, are you?
I don't think so. I think you can only really know until you're on the court, but Bobby's been leading a pretty fast life, and I've been trying to discipline myself, and I spent a lot of time at Hilton Head Island just lifting weights for my knees and really trying to be healthy. And I really feel that as a professional athlete, I owed it to myself and to tennis players and to professional athletes in general to get it in gear.
Is there,
You know?
is there the feminist thing? How important is that, Billie?
The women's movement is important to me, as long as it stays practical. And I think that the women's movement is really making a better life for more people other than just women. And I feel very strongly about it from that point of view.
Could you tell us, Billie, what kind of strategy you might have going into it?
Well, I thought long and hard about it, and I've never played Bobby in a match. I've never hit a ball against him, so it's kind of difficult. There's no track record to go on. I've had my spies out. The main thing, I talked to a coach that's helped me for many years, Frank Brennan, and the last words he had for me is play your own game. Dennis Vandermeer, who is going to be my coach during the match, you know, I think is really a very observant human being. We talked a lot. I also saw the films with the Court Riggs match a couple of times just to refresh my memory as best I could. I hope to go to net a lot, but also to be a great athlete you have to be able to compromise and to adjust. And so I've got to be ready for some alternatives also.
Billie, we're just about.
Thanks,
Now we're back live in the Astrodome, and you see the mouth. Bobby Riggs. He's being brought in. Billie Jean King had come in earlier in a colorful float, carted apparently by a couple of football players. They looked that big. But there's Bobby doing his thing. The big act, the big bluster, the big noise. That's been his constant theme ever since before the Margaret Court match. And you'll remember how he disposed with Margaret with almost enormous dispatch. Now he's got tougher competition, Billie Jean King, who's got the public support. But Bobby doesn't care. Not really. Deep inside, he is so completely confident of his ability to duplicate the effort against Margaret Court that sometimes when you're with him and he starts talking about the forthcoming match, you almost think he's in a state of delirium. Really, that's true. He gets so carried away with himself that it's almost as if nobody is there, and he's just telling himself over and over again what he's going to do to Billie Jean King. Now Bobby is out just behind the court, on the court surface, which is incidentally an acrylic fiber. It's really a punchwork needle job, much like a coffin. And it's the kind of surface that Billie Jean King had requested. There's Billie sitting there, coolly, and maybe just a little bit pensively. But Billie Jean got the kind of floor she wanted. It's a floor of reasonable swiftness, and yet placed on a basketball court, as this floor is, the wood will have a tendency to slow the action, I suspect. We'll talk more about that later with our resident experts. Also, they'll be using Wilson heavy-duty balls, again at Billie Jean's request, because Billie Jean has had her way in almost everything leading into this match. And so the two players are out on the court, and we'll be back with you in one moment.
Georgie, you are about to see the investment idea of the century.
Al.
The electric fork.
Oh, Al.
I can get you in on the ground floor.
Al, I've got my money invested in something else.
More and more people are discovering savings accounts at Savings and Loans. The return is substantial, and your money is insured up to $20,000 by an agency of the federal government.
Al, is this the same guy who invented the folding waterbed?
That's not funny, Georgie. I almost drowned.
Your Savings and Loan wants you to know how money works.
When I'm not playing in one tennis tournament, I'm traveling to another. So I don't have time to fuss with my hair. But with Sunbeam's Mystic Curler Styler, I can curl my hair anywhere, without curlers. Sunbeam controls the heat. You control the mist. The Sunbeam Mystic Curler Styler. Oh. Now this is enough to curl your hair.
The Sunbeam Mystic Curler Styler. Makes a great gift, too.
Once again, we're back live at the Houston Astrodome, and we're just about ready, since Bobby Riggs has gotten out of the chariot that he was drawn into the court in. They're just about ready for the pre-match presentations. Let's go down to courtside, and again, my colleague, Frank Gifford.
Thank you, Howard. I really can't believe I'm here, nor can this man. What is this, Bobby?
This is a beautiful lollipop I have got for Billie Jean, because I figure she's going to be a sucker for my love tonight, so I brought her the biggest sucker I could possibly find, and she can lick it the rest of the year and still won't use it. Be my guest for this beautiful sugar dance. It'll be good for your low blood sugar count, and good luck to you.
For Bobby, Billie.
Well, you're hearing through the public address system, since we're having trouble with Frank's audio down there, Billie Jean King answering Bobby Riggs. Let's listen.
Sweetheart, no, I wouldn't.
Bobby, of course, is promoting a product. He's always promoting something, and he's realizing more money out of all of his promotions than he ever dreamed existed. All right, we're back on camera, and this is our female expert tonight. Recognize her? Little Rosie Casals, who this year on the Women's Pro Tennis Tour has already won over $70,000, including $30,000 at Sea Pines in South Carolina. Rosie, whom do you pick tonight?
Well, I predict Billie Jean will win in 3 sets, 6-3, 6-4, 6-3.
Look at that male chauvinist pig that symbolizes what Bobby Riggs is holding up there, Rosie.
Let's see. I think...
and that's the present that your friend Billie Jean gave him.
That's too cute for him. He doesn't resemble that kind of a pig.
Well, that's a little spunky on your part. Now, you were saying Billie Jean will win in 3 sets?
Yes, I definitely think so. I think she's a better tennis player, and what happened in the courts and Riggs match will not happen tonight. Billie Jean will beat him, definitely.
What will her court tactics be? What is her overall strategy? You're so close to her.
I think she's going to be very aggressive. I spoke to her in the locker room prior to her going out in court, and she seems very relaxed, and she's going to go out and play her game and not worry about what he's going to do, because whatever he can do, she can do it a lot better.
Why should it be different with her than it was with Margaret Court, who has beaten Billie Jean so often?
Well, psychologically, she's a better pressure player. Billie Jean's basically like another Bobby Riggs. She's a hustler. She can take that type of pressure. She can go out and give the same stuff back to him.
Now, finally, give us your opinion, right on the table, of Bobby Riggs.
I still say he's a duck-footed. He's just bad news. Really bad news.
Okay, Rosie Casals will be talking with us throughout the evening, voiceover, replays, and so on. There are the two players getting ready, and now I want to bring in our other resident expert, if I can get him over here, a man who is serving instead of Jack Kramer, who was to have originally been with us, as we've explained, but this gentleman is Eugene Scott, who is an international tennis player of note, was once the number 4 seeded male player in the United States when an amateur, and finally played a match, 21 points against Billie Jean King, spotted her 10 points and service, and beat her 21-17. So, Gene Scott, your view of tonight's match.
I think Rosie was exactly right in the scores, except she had the score flip-flop. Bobby Riggs will win 6-3, 6-4, 6-3. I think you've seen the track record of Bobby Riggs against Margaret Court, but moreover, over the years, over many years, over 20 years, over 30 years, in his mind, he's a negotiator, which is a more sophisticated term than a hustler. He's not just a hustler in today's vernacular. He knows what the odds are. He knows where he's at all the time when he's on the court. So I think you can look for a lot of versatility coming from him. When the going gets tough, unusual circumstances come up, I think Bobby has to dominate.
What are the weaknesses of Billie Jean's game as you see them? You've played her, that Bobby will capitalize upon.
Well, I think it's an intangible, Howard. The basic thing is that she's not used to playing in an unusual environment, in an unusual circumstance, and Bobby has spent his whole life doing something a little bit unusual. If there is a weakness in Billie Jean King, I'd say that as all women, she may be a little bit slower than the men. Bobby also probably will be able to pressure her.
Okay, I've got to cut you off. We'll be back in a moment.
Buying automobile insurance used to be simple. Not anymore. Sometimes it seems as if you're surrounded by 100 choices. Some companies offer lower insurance rates for safe drivers. Some give discounts for young people with driver training or good school grades. Others give discounts if you have more than one car. Not to mention companies with day and night claim service, coverage up to $1 million, even companies with bumper discounts. But who can put all these advantages together? Aetna Life and Casualty can.
It's all available from Aetna. The discounts, the coverage, limits up to $1 million. Fast 24-hour claim service from coast to coast.
Your Aetna agent is the man who can make all your auto insurance nice and simple again. Aetna, we're not your average insurance company. You get action with Aetna.
This is the scene in the Astrodome. I'm down on the floor of the Astrodome with a couple of great champions who are here to watch this happening. First of all, and they have sort of split opinions on this, the world's heavyweight champion, George Foreman. And George, who's your pick?
Well, I'm looking at Billie Jean King. I think she's going to win this. She's just too strong and too much stamina for that man.
Okay, and Jim Brown, one of the great football players of all time, took a lot of money out of my pocket over the years. Jim, what's your pick?
Well, you know, George had the flag, you know, so he's the All-American boy. I'm going with Bobby Riggs because he's out of sight. He's 55 years old and bad.
Okay, that's Jim Brown and the heavyweight champion of the world, George Foreman. Okay, Howard.
Okay, thank you very much, Frank. And Jim Brown and George Foreman, too. An interesting diversification of opinion there. In the meantime, they are still warming up. Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs. And this crowd has really begun to fill up this arena almost amazingly in terms of a tennis match. Just look at that crowd. Has to be, I think, more than 30,000 people here. And you'll remember, Gene Scott, it was in Australia in 1954, White City, that the previous record was established of 25,000, and at a price scale not, I don't think, comparable to tonight, where we have a $100 top.
That's it, Howard. For the minutia experts, the United States won over Australia in that contest, one of the few times during the 50s that the U.S. won. Here, it's entirely different. The crowd, obviously, most of it is fairly far away from the center court. White City, packed stands all around the competitors.
All right, Gene. How do you feel about this court they're playing on? Do you feel it favors Billie Jean? It's the court she requested.
Well, I think, Howard, it does a little bit. It's fast. It's faster than clay, so this favors her serve and volley type game. Bobby is more of a junk and bunk artist. He half volleys, dinks, lobs, and chops without a premium placed on speed, and basically this hurts him a little bit.
Look at the tail of the tape. The age differential speaks for itself. All of the rest speak for themselves, and yet, and I'm concentrating on Gene Scott for the moment, Rosemary Casals, just to give him his shots before you take your shots at him. It's a fact, isn't it, that if they were both males, if Billie Jean King were a male, she actually excels over Riggs in such matters as velocity and hitting the ball. Is that true?
There's no question. If you had one of these grip tests, or if you had a high jump test or a broad jump test, Billie Jean would win them all. This is more than that. This is not man versus woman in strength. This is psychological contest as well.
They have started the match just that way, that abruptly. Service, Billie Jean's, and fault. And he continues, Bobby Riggs does, to wear his warm-up jacket. Love 15. Well, that's the kind of confidence Muhammad Ali tried to show when he kept standing in the corner between rounds in his last fight against Kenny Norton. Riggs wearing that warm-up sweater. 15 all. You'll hear the crowd responding all night to every point won by Billie Jean. Led 2 to come. This is best of 5 sets. And the crowd roars to that smash by Billie Jean.
It was out, Howard. Missed by an eyelash. Never seen Billie Jean take so long between serves, Rosie.
Well, I think anytime she plays any real important match, such as Wimbledon or Forest Hill, she really takes her time, and she is generally very, very tough when it comes to playing finals or that particular type of match. And this is an important match, and I think she'll really play it well.
We are at 30-all. Ball. This is the first game of the match again. Best of 5 sets.
Howard, Bobby's already starting. He shouted, "Atta girl," right after Billie hit the winner.
You think he'll be shouting that too much longer, Rosemary? 40-30, Billie Jean's lead.
When he starts losing, I don't think he's going to say "atta girl."
Well, these first 2 or 3 games could be critical, don't you think, Rosie?
Well, I think that Billie Jean's really going to try hard to get the, first 3 or 4 games. Definitely the first set. I think it'll be a psychological advantage for her to have the first set in her pocket.
It is deuce, and I wouldn't call that an error forced by Bobby, would you?
I think they're both very, very nervous and playing very tentative tennis. I think Billie Jean is being very tentative at the moment. And I think if she starts getting her first serve, such as she just did just now, she'll really give Bobby a bad time, because her first volleys are very tough, very tough.
Advantage, Billie Jean King.
That's out.
Game Billie Jean King, and the crowd loves it. They get ready to exchange cards, and we'll be back with the Battle of the Sexes in a moment.
Fortunately, tennis isn't my best game. But this, I do know something about. Getting around the country in comfort and style, for me, that has to be a Cadillac. You know, I really like what they've done to this Eldorado for 1974. The new instrument panel, for one thing. I like the way it looks and the way it organizes things. But for me, the real pleasure in this car is in the driving. The engine advancements give you finer performance from start to stop. I like the traction and stability of front-wheel drive. I don't know how they do it year after year. But for me, Cadillac is America's #1 luxury car. If you agree with me that second best isn't good enough, why not go see your authorized Cadillac dealer? Life is too short to put it off for long.
Back live, courtside at the Astrodome, Houston, Texas. The Battle of the Sexes just underway. Billie Jean King has already surpassed Margaret Court. She held her service in the very first game and leads 1-0. And there are probably millions of people watching tonight, Jean and Rosie, who are not tennis aficionados, so it might be well for you, too, if you will, picking your spots to acquaint some of our viewers, the uninitiated, with the manner of tennis scoring.
One of the first things that was very evident, Howard, was that Billie Jean came to net 5 times in that first game, and she won 3 points by coming to net.
Bobby's service. Ball. Good rally, a splendid placement by Billie Jean. Bobby serving, love 15.
Exactly what I meant. Billie Jean can really get to the ball, and if Bobby doesn't put the ball away, Billie Jean's going to hurt him because she can get to most of his shots. And no matter how...
Let's take another look at that last point. Look at that retrieve of the lob by Billie Jean, keeping the ball in play, and then Billie Jean with the foot speed and the anticipation to get over there and execute the placement. Beautiful shot. We're at 15 all in the second game of the first set. And a beautiful placement by Bobby Riggs.
That's pretty unusual. I'm very surprised in that shot from Bobby. Very surprised.
Rosie, your testimony against Bobby is disqualified on grounds of bias. That was called out, and it was a late call.
Close call. That
by the lineman.
Very, very close call there.
Bobby Riggs serving. Well,
he tried to serve on Margaret, and it paid off, but I don't think it's going to pay off with Billie Jean.
You saw the action on that service, but Billie Jean did get it. Gambling shot by Billie Jean out. Score is 1-1 in games.
Bobby still hasn't taken off his warm-up jacket, as if that's part of the sight, and he started to establish his own pattern there.
I think he's getting paid too much money to take that off.
Rosie Casals, who tells it like it is. Gene Scott and Rosie Casals are with me tonight, and of course Frank Gifford. Later we'll be hearing from Leroy Neiman and seeing some fascinating sketches that he's been doing down here. A noted artist. Good, very good placement by Billie Jean, 15 love.
I must say Billie Jean has one of the greatest volleys. It's just as good as any men's volley, for sure. Jean, wouldn't you agree? You've played mixed doubles against her.
I've personally been killed, but I still think that the male volley has got to dominate.
I disagree. I think she has just as good as a volley as any man.
Beautiful.
Want to see the old man run for that one.
Well, that's the very point, it seems to me, Gene. Billie Jean can keep Bobby running, and so far she's been able to do it on her service. I think she could wear him down.
It's a long match, Howard. 3 out of 5 sets. And
she definitely has an advantage. I think she hits through the ball. She certainly hits a lot more than Margaret. I think that's what hurt Margaret. Margaret really couldn't hit through Bobby, and Billie Jean has the ability to hit right through him.
We're at game point here.
Even aces. She has the ability to ace him also.
As she just did, and it's 2 games to 1, Billie Jean King already. And I think, as most expected, a marked difference between Billie Jean King's performance against Bobby Riggs as the jacket begins to be taken off by Bobby Riggs. No more of the warm-up jacket, a concession to the fact that Riggs perhaps knows he's running into firm competition. And the man there who just took the jacket off, of course, is Lonnie Kuehl, who is Bobby Riggs' trainer.
Yeah, I think he's going to start taking some of the vitamin pills. I think he's going to start needing them.
All right, let's go down quickly to courtside and Frank Gifford.
Well, Howard, I'm with the parents of Billie Jean King, Mr. and Mrs. Moffat, as I was corrected just a moment ago, and there must have been a lot of pressure on the two of you over the past few weeks.
Well, there is a lot, Frank, but eventually we know that Billie Jean can take Bobby to camp, and that's why we're here to watch her win this big one.
Yeah, she's looking really good. You must be delighted the way she's going so far.
Yes, we're real pleased with the way she looks, and I think she'll do it. I have confidence.
I bet you do. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Frank.
Howard?
Well, we're up here real pleased with the way Billie Jean's mother looks, a very dignified and lovely-looking lady. And at courtside, the two players, as you can see, Billie Jean there resting, getting ready for the 4th game in this set. And they have 2 minutes agreed upon between games. That's why the timeout period may seem a little long to you. There have been other ground rules set for this match that we will bring to your attention during the course of play and as such matters become pertinent. In the meantime, there goes Bobby with the jacket off, and maybe the braggadocio a little bit reduced.
I think Billie Jean now will be looking for the break. I think she is a little bit more comfortable on the court now. She's hit a couple of balls that have been out there, and actually it's been a fairly good match at the moment. Nothing spectacular has happened.
Except for that kind of mistake.
Well, I think she's still very tentative, but she's going to have to start hitting out a little bit more because that's her game. She has to hit out.
15-love Bobby. Billie Jean leading. 2-1.
Great shot by Billie Jean, half volley. She also is master of the half volley and the little drop shots and things. Jean, even though she hasn't been around as long as Bobby, she still is doing pretty good. She's still capable of playing him from the backcourt. She has the ability to be able to change her game accordingly. Great hit. Great hit.
An exciting rally, though, wasn't it, Gene? The kind of tennis that the fans came out to see.
I don't think Bobby
look
can
at
take
this
that.
in replay. Now watch this. This is the evidence of the superiority, perhaps, of youth. Billie Jean's ability to get all across that court. But on the other hand, Bobby's guile had her moving all across that court.
Two good athletes, Howard. I think what's happened is Bobby hasn't done anything spectacular. He's still hanging in, and he's about to hold service to make it 2-all.
I don't think Bobby's a good athlete. I wouldn't consider somebody that walks like a duck a good athlete. It's awfully tough to move when you are built that way, Gene. Awfully tough.
Where's the velocity that Billie Jean can put on the ball, and walking back, she's walking more like a male than a female. Andy Williams loving every moment of it. Andy, of course, was in the celebrity doubles final held here earlier. We're at 30-all, and Bobby Riggs is serving. Billie Jean leading in games, 2-1. And it's 30-40. Gene, I'm really very surprised myself at the way Billie Jean is playing, and for that matter, the way Bobby is playing.
Service break point. It's the first pressure point that Billie Jean's had in the match.
Oh, that was out.
Pressure point, right on the line. In the line counts it. In the Astrodome, Rosie.
That was a close, tough call, but we are at deuce.
Well, that's the only way he can win this match. That ball. That was a ball.
Billie Jean is looking for the call, and it was called good in spite of Rosie's view of the shot.
I think we ought to have that
Riggs.
man removed. Definitely removed.
Well, that was called a fault, Rosie. Rosemary Casals is with me, and Gene Scott. So Bobby facing the pressure. Held service, and games are 2-all.
I think Bobby was very lucky on those two calls, because there could have been a break right there. Very lucky on the call.
Just look at that crowd, Gene. Did you ever think you'd see that number of people at a tennis match in the Astrodome?
Nowhere. There's been a lot of comment, Howard, about what is the maximum amount of people that can properly watch a tennis match. Punch Imlach gave us some simile in hockey, for example, saying that only 18,000 could watch properly in hockey, and I think probably the game is basically the same. It's an awful big crowd to get the feeling of intimacy. That was not intimate.
Now, Billie Jean King, 15-love.
That's what happens to Bobby Riggs' lobs. Smashed.
Fifth game of the first set. 2 games apiece. 15 all.
I'd say there's a bit of discrimination on the court. We've got 7 men linesmen and 7 lineswomen. I don't think it's very fair, especially the guy that called this ball out.
(30-15), Billie Jean. I don't think you meant 7 lineswomen, 7 men linesmen.
7 men.
And 4 lineswomen. Isn't that what you meant?
That's exactly what I meant. Thank you, Howard.
She's been a little careless in this game.
No, I think she's too tentative at the moment. That's really the problem, because she's not really being aggressive and not hitting out. She's being caught in between the service line and going up to net.
30 all.
That's the way.
Beautiful placement by Billie Jean, moving up to the net. I wonder if you'd explain to our viewers what you mean by the use of the word tentative.
Tentative meaning that she has not made up her mind exactly what she's going to do, whether she's going to go up to the net or stay back or hit a forehand down the line or cross court. You've got to make up your mind before you go up and hit the shot. Generally, when you do miss the shots, because you haven't made up your mind.
5th game of the first set. 40-30, Billie Jean King serving. Score tied at 2 games apiece.
There goes the lob again. Backhand down the line by Billie Jean. One of her best shots, really. And Mr. Riggs comes up to net. Lob.
And a very nice put-away shot.
Not bad for an old man. Still won't win, though.
We're at 40-40.
Gotta be softer on the old man.
Can't.
Billie Jean is approaching her first pressure position, perhaps, Jean.
We'll see how she responds just at this juncture. You saw last game that Bobby had the pressure on him. He responded very well.
And Billie Jean did not respond well on that shot. The advantage is Bobby Riggs.
Now a break point.
Yes, indeed.
She'll have to get her first serve in, really. Makes the difference right there again. She got caught where she couldn't make up her mind exactly what she wanted to do.
But she won at break point. We are back to deuce.
She's got to work on her first serve, getting it in deep into Bobby, and I think she'll be in a good position up at net.
Rosie, she still looks tense to me.
She is tense, no doubt about that. This is a very important match.
And what a break for Bobby Riggs. As the advantage is his again. He is at break point. We are in the 5th game of the first set with the games tied at 2 apiece. It's really been an interesting match with some spectacular rallies.
Now everybody's sitting on pins and needles up here.
And Bobby Riggs breaks through. The first, perhaps, turning point in the first set of this match. Bobby Riggs leading Billie Jean 3-2. We'll be back in a moment.
The Wilson Autograph Series. Wood rackets that have been winning tennis matches and tennis players for a long time. Wood rackets have won more major tournaments than any other rackets in the country. The Jack Kramer, Stan Smith, and Billie Jean King autographs. Wood rackets that can help you play the best game you know how. Wilson. We're not #1 for nothing.
Can your iron do this? Look again. It's Sunbeam's self-cleaning shot of steam iron. Just touch this button for instant extra steam. Hot penetrating steam to set professional type creases in pants or pleated skirts. And every touch self-cleans the vents. the Sunbeam shot of steam iron and the spray shot of steam iron. Of course they're both self-cleaning. They're both from Sunbeam.
There's Bobby Riggs at courtside, wiping his glasses. He's just taken some refreshment, getting ready to move into the 6th game of the first set, leading at 3-2. He held together, beat Billie Jean King on her service for the first breakthrough, and in slow motion, he did get a break. This was the shot that perhaps did it. Watch the flow of action here. See that? Ball hit the net and just dropped in. That was the break Bobby needed. So he held together when he was in danger of being broken through. He held on. Billie Jean could not. With that net ball a factor in Bobby Riggs' success thus far. Riggs serving.
Billie Jean's going to have to start hitting more. She's just being too tentative and starting. I think she's playing his game a little bit too much, and at the moment it's not a very good idea because she doesn't have her momentum.
He's forcing her into errors now. 15 love. Bobby leading.
Pretty good example there, Howard, that Bobby kills you with unspectacular stuff. He doesn't look like he's doing anything to you, and yet he's just killing Billie Jean with steadiness.
Well, I wouldn't say it's spectacular, Gene. I'd say it's adequate. That's fairly spectacular, Gene.
But Bobby still has the break, Rosie.
Well, it's not the end of the match yet. One break doesn't make any difference in women's tennis. You know that.
15 all. Ball.
I just wonder whether Bobby would look better in a tennis dress or better than the shorts, maybe.
And a nice passing shot by Billie Jean King. 15-30. Bobby serving. Billie needing an answering breakthrough. Bobby leading 3-2 in this, the first set of the best-of-5 match. Bobby having broken through Billie Jean on her last service.
He went for his big cannonball serve just then.
Rosie, you sound as if that's a meatball.
I think he's starting to show some signs of being a little bit nervous also. He just threw in a double fault, and how can you ever double fault with that kind of a serve?
Maybe again.
Oh, Rosie.
There's the break.
As the answering break, she did what she had to do, and she did it her way, Jean. Games are tied at 3-3 with service moving over to Billie Jean.
It's too bad. She would have been up 5-3 by now.
I'll say this for Bobby. He told a good shot in a very sportsmanlike way.
Oh, I think he's a gentleman, really.
That's a new tack you're taking.
Be a little sarcastic.
And another beautiful placement by Billie Jean. 15 love.
Solid touch.
I think if she keeps that up, Bobby's really going to be too tired to finish off the next 2 sets. It's a lot of running that he's doing back and forth. As I said, I think he moves well from side to side, from, backhand to forehand, but back and forth, up and down, he doesn't move that well. He's very limited with the way he runs.
But sarcasm aside, Rosie, you surely don't think Bobby's not going to finish the match?
Well, I think he will, finish the match, but I don't think he'll be in a position to go out and party and enjoy himself and things like that.
She'll give no ground, see. Beautiful shot by Billie Jean King. 30-15, games again, tied at 3-all. Billie Jean serving, of course.
Using the same sequence, she keeps serving to his backhand and hits a short or a fairly short backhand into his backhand, comes up and plays the same sequence, short backhand cross court. That's a very good return.
Oh, beautiful return by Bobby Riggs. 40-30. Billie Jean still at game point.
Bobby doesn't look too happy there. He looks a little bit upset.
Well, that was an unforced error. And Billie Jean King is leading Bobby Riggs in a very, very good and interesting match. Back in a moment.
What kind of company is Rockwell International? That depends on who you ask. Ask a truck driver, and he'll say they build axles, springs, and brakes. Ask a pilot, and he'll tell you about their flying machines, from the single-engine 112 to Sabre business jets. Better yet, look closer to home. Rockwell International is big in the textile industry. They're a leading producer of looms and knitting machines. They gave their Electronet 48 computerized controls. It changes patterns in seconds instead of hours to respond to the fast-changing fashion business. And the Rockwell name is at home with lawn and garden power tools and workshop power tools. That's the kind of company Rockwell International is. Scientific, businesslike. In aerospace and closer to home with automotive, electronics, industrial and consumer products. Rockwell International, where science gets down to business.
This is an ANCO windshield wiper, one of the least expensive safety devices on your car. Every bit as important to your family's safety as good tires and good brakes. This is an old windshield wiper. It streaks, smears, and blurs. Don't wait for trouble to start. It takes just minutes to replace old wipers with dependable new ANCO blade refills wherever you see a yellow ANCO service center. It may save you from serious trouble. ANCO, your foul weather friend.
That's the scene in the Houston Astrodome for tennis. A 55-year-old man against a 29-year-old woman. Incredible, isn't it? Without question now, the largest tennis crowd in history. We're waiting with some anticipation for the actual figures. Bobby Riggs serving, trailing 3 games against 4.
I believe we have new balls here.
Yes, it's 7 and 9 games. First two games are thought of as counting for the warm-up.
You recognize that gentleman? Oh, we just saw him.
The referee, Jason Morton. The umpire, the head umpire.
That's right. Look at that. She's got him running and out of position.
When Bob starts hitching up, Bobby starts hitching up his shorts, I think he's starting to get worried there.
Unusual tactic. I think he's doing it as an offsetter, serving and volleying. That's not usually his style. He drew the error quickly from Billie Jean.
Bobby at net. That soft drop shot. Bobby leads 30-15. He is trailing in games. 3 against 4. This is the first set of a best-of-5 match. And it's incredible the anticipation that's existed in this Astrodome tonight.
Second service.
I think Bobby looks a little bit nervous. He doesn't look right to me.
Nervous? Who's nervous there?
Well, you've got to miss some shots, Gene. You just couldn't, make everything. It wouldn't be a match then.
It's just about to be 4-all.
And it is. Nicely placed by Bobby Riggs. It is 4-all. Service moves over to Billie Jean King. And funny, this match, I suppose we all expected to have some high humor involved in it. Instead, it seems to have become a very, very serious thing because the comedy has gone out of Bobby Riggs.
Good shot.
15 love.
Billie Jean's been consistently making her backhand volleys, and she's made most of her points off that backhand side, and Bobby keeps playing that side.
On 9 o'clock. I want to remind you that we're coming to you live from the Houston Astrodome. Billie Jean King against Bobby Riggs. They are tied in the first set at 4 games apiece. Billie Jean serving and leading in the 9th game. Score 30 love and perhaps about to become 40 love. Yes, with a brilliant place. Let's take another look at that last point, Gene.
Okay, Howard, here you have Bobby being stretched all the way out of the court. He goes down and sits down on the sideline. Billie Jean gently half volleys the ball back into his court for the winner.
Well, it was really a tough shot for Billie Jean even to get. It was
out, and it's a love game for Billie Jean. She leads 5 games to 4. So far, she has played really fine tennis, and we will be back in one moment.
This one is the leader.
Only one can be the leader in popularity. In the model year that has just passed, purchases of Cadillacs were over double those of the nearest competitor.
Cadillac.
Only one can be the leader in resale value.
This one is the leader.
Cadillac traditionally leads all U.S. car makes in resale value. Only one can be the leader in owner loyalty. And the percentage of repeat buyers for Cadillac is historically the highest in the automobile industry.
This one is the leader.
And for 1974, Cadillac leads with the greatest choice in the luxury field. 9 basic models, plus new special edition cars.
This one is the leader.
Only one can be the leader. Cadillac 74. More than ever, America's #1 luxury car.
Houston Astrodome, a beautiful scene tonight, a beautiful scene for Billie Jean King fan. She leads in the first set 5-4, and speaking of beautiful things, this is not very Nitschke, even though she's wearing the number 66. Claudine Langer. Claudine, you have to be enjoying it.
Oh, I can't take it. It's just too much. Really.
You're quite a tennis fan yourself, aren't you?
Yes, I am, and I'm so happy because